Republicans for Harris on three. 1, 2, 3.
That video right there is from a packed event from this past week at the Republicans for Harris chapter in Arizona. One person from the organization remarked, "More and more Republicans are choosing country over party and are voting for Kamala Harris." And the Republicans for Harris organization said it might make Trump angry if you post this video. So of course we're going to post it. Look, here at the MeidasTouch Network for the past 3.5 years, we've been highlighting the stories of former Trump voters who no longer support them, and they want to share their stories about what their breaking point was, whether it was COVID, whether it was January 6th, whether it was Donald Trump calling military veterans suckers and losers, whether it was Donald Trump's treatment of migrants, whatever it was, whatever the breaking point was, we share those stories, and we've received tens of thousands, perhaps hundreds of thousands of stories like these stories right here. My sister was a hardcore Republican and a Trump supporter. Once the SCOTUS decision overturned Roe v. Wade, she was done with Trump and now views him through a clear lens, and she is horrified. She says there is no more Republican Party. It has become the Trump Party. She is committed to voting for the Harris-Walz ticket in 2024. These are recent messages that I've gotten. I can share thousands from this past week. I'm just going to give you a handful. Someone writes, "I'm a former Trump cultist too, who saw the light in 2020 during Trump's mishandling of COVID. These videos, like the ones you share, MeidasTouch, make me so proud because I know there's plenty of folks waking up every day leaving Trump and supporting VP Harris. But more and more, the big one I get is January 6th being a breaking point for so many people, like this one right here from Brenda. My husband is a Marine and born-again Christian who voted for Trump in 2016. He was disgusted by the January 6th events. He now speaks up and speaks out in support of country over politics. He proudly wears a 'We're Not Going Back' ball cap when he's not wearing his Marine hat. Also, we have the 'We're Not Going Back' shirts at store.meidastouch.com. Check it out. Kenneth goes, "It's about time they left him. I left the Republican Party the day after January 6th. I did not want to be part of a political party that's okay with their leader supporting terrorists." Now, the organization Republican Voters Against Trump has done an awesome job highlighting these stories and video testimonials as well that I love to share. In fact, they run those testimonials as ads in swing states. And it's so important that we share these videos and to let former Trump supporters know that we, the people, we love our democracy in the pro-democracy community. We love our country. We love our flag. We love our troops. We support law and order. And we don't just say slogans. We show it with our values each and every day. And I still say to this day, if somebody wanted to leave the Trump MAGA thing tomorrow, I would welcome them with open arms to the pro-democracy community. It isn't easy getting out of groups like that and cults like that. So I say welcome them to the pro-democracy community from where they were. One point to make as well, during the debate, the key moment that actually saw the biggest spike in voter registration, do you know what it was? It was when Vice President Kamala Harris pointed out how Donald Trump supports the January 6th insurrection to this day. And when Donald Trump was asked if he has any regrets, and he said, no, he has no regrets. And he said, I was just invited to give a speech. What did I do? I did nothing wrong. That was actually the moment where we saw the most the highest spike in voter registration. Let me share with you some of these testimonials too, because they are so compelling. This from the Republican Voters Against Trump. This is Andy, a former Trump voter from Pennsylvania. Let's play the clip.
He is without a doubt the worst president we ever had. And like I said, leadership matters. And I shudder to think what the next catastrophe will be if he's back in power. I did vote for Donald Trump in 2016. Quickly realized it was a mistake. My fear is a second Trump term will be more unhinged than you can imagine. It will be every unhinged person, from Mike Johnson to Marjorie Taylor Greene to Kari Lake to more than likely Tucker Carlson, have their hands on very sensitive materials. That is not something that we want to have happen. My fear is that if he gets back in, this will be the last election of our lifetime. He wants to be a dictator. He has made no bones about it. His bootlicking to Vladimir Putin is no longer hidden. He has complimented Kim Jong-un, and he has also complimented Saddam Hussein as somebody who's tough on terrorism. And that is an absolute fact. He is, without a doubt, the worst president we ever had. And like I said, leadership matters. And I shudder to think what the next catastrophe will be if he's back in power.
This is Tom, a former Trump voter from Michigan. Let's play the clip.
I do disagree with Harris on some issues. She's not going to try to destroy the Constitution. She's going to do a better job overall than Trump. My name is Tom. I'm from Michigan, and I'm a former Trump voter. Trump's actions on the 6th of January, it really surprised me, because I've seen a lot of elections. I am in my 50s, and for the first time, I saw a current president try to fight that peaceful transition. And then the lies about the election being compromised, and it was disgusting. I've never seen someone do something like that. I believe if Trump gets a second term, if he's elected this November, he's not leaving, he's staying. One of my concerns is that Trump will pull the U.S. back from our overseas engagements and essentially leave the world stage to nations like China and Russia. He wants to be this big mafia boss, this dictator, and he's looking to do everything he can to consolidate his power. A president of the United States exists to serve the people of the United States, not to be their retribution, not to be their boss. I've decided to vote for Kamala Harris in November, even though I've never in my life voted for a Democratic candidate for president. While I do disagree with Harris on some issues, she's not going to try to destroy the Constitution. She's not going to try to turn America into something like Hungary or Russia. She's going to do a better job overall than Trump.
As a kid, I loved eating cereal, but as an adult, I don't want all that sugar, and most cereals don't give me the protein I need. Then I found Magic Spoon, a nostalgically delicious cereal that tastes just like my childhood favorites, but without the sugar and with a ton of protein. And if you're already a Magic Spoon fan like I am, I have big news. Magic Spoon has turned their super popular cereal into high-protein treats that are light, crispy, and taste just like those classic crunchy cereal bars. Magic Spoon's brand new treats are so delicious and have already become my favorite before and after gym snack. Every serving of Magic Spoon cereal has 13 grams of protein, 0 grams of sugar, and 4 grams of net carbs, so you can feel good about what you are eating. The most popular flavors are fruity and cocoa, and there's so many more. I love the cocoa ones. Magic Spoon's brand new treats are crispy, crunchy, airy, and an easy way to get 11 grams of protein on the go. And for the first time ever, Magic Spoon treats are available in grocery stores with delicious flavors like marshmallow and chocolate peanut butter, chocolatey peanut butter. I personally love Magic Spoon's chocolatey peanut butter treats. I have one every morning to start the day off on the right foot, and I know you will love it as well. Get $5 off your next order at magicspoon.com/Meidas, or look for Magic Spoon in your nearest grocery store. That's magicspoon.com/Meidas, MEIDAS, for $5 off. Magic Spoon, hold on to the dream. magicspoon.com/Meidas. This is former Republican Congressman Jim Greenwood from Pennsylvania on why he's voting for Harris over Trump. Let's play this clip.
You were, actually served as a member as a Republican. Why are you supporting the vice president?
Well, since day one, I observed him to be a man who is not mentally fit for the job. And it's a harsh thing to say, but others have said it. He's a malignant narcissist, and he's a pathological liar. And given him a second term when he doesn't have to worry about re-election, someone who will lie to his family, to his constituents, to world leaders, to his cabinet, just cannot be trusted to run this country.
This is Republican former Attorney General Alberto Gonzales on his endorsement of Vice President Kamala Harris. He was Bush's AG. Play this clip.
Well, John, I've watched this campaign closely, as many other Republicans. And by the way, there are a host of Republicans, Republican lawyers in particular, who are concerned about the possibility of Donald Trump becoming president again because of his lack of, as we see it, lack of support, lack of willingness to abide by the rule of law. And for lawyers, that is extremely important. And I think Kamala Harris has demonstrated fidelity to the rule of law. Obviously, there are a lot of unknown questions about her. Those questions are being answered. For me, I thought her performance during the convention was good. I thought her debate performance was outstanding, quite frankly. And the final thing that I would just say is, even after the election, whoever wins, we're still going to have a divided country, right? There'll be 70, 80 million people that may disagree with the views of the new president. And I think about who is most willing to work to unite our country. And in making that calculation, for me, it's fairly easy. I view Kamala Harris as someone, based on her rhetoric and her history, as someone most likely to be dedicated to try to unite America. I don't see that discipline, that willingness in Donald Trump. And for those reasons, and many others, this is why I think it's important to come out publicly and say that I think that Kamala Harris is a better choice in this particular election.
And when you hear Donald Trump say things like this, it's like obviously why people are leaving. It's so extreme, so extreme. Here, play this clip.
Reporting of 911 calls even show residents are reporting that the migrants are walking off with the town's geese. They take in the geese. You know where the geese are? In the park, in the lake. And even walking off with their pets. My dog's been taken. My dog's been stolen. This can only happen. These people are the worst.
And finally, I want to share with you, this is from Vice President Kamala Harris's interview this past week, where she says, look, these Republicans are now endorsing me. 200 Bush officials, Bush, Romney, McCain people are now supporting me. Here, play this clip.
In my heart, I know, in my soul, I know that the vast majority of us as Americans have so much more in common than what separates us. And I also believe that I am accurate in knowing that most Americans want a leader who brings us together as Americans and not someone who professes to be a leader who is trying to have us point our fingers at each other. I think people are exhausted with that approach, to be honest with you. I think people want a leader who has common sense and tries to find common ground. I'm supported by over 200 Republicans who worked for both Presidents Bush, John McCain, Mitt Romney. I'm supported by the former Vice President Dick Cheney, former Congress member Liz Cheney. And I think people are more willing now, in light of the hate and division that we see coming out of Donald Trump, to say, hey, let's put country first. And I think that just makes us stronger and more healthy as a country, to say, look, we can all debate our differences around, various policies, but let's stop with the division. Like, enough of that. Let's bring everybody together.
So we'll continue to highlight these. And let me show you Susan's story. Susan's story is great. Here, play it.
He's a piece of and I will never, ever have any thought of Donald Trump that are good. My name is Susan. I voted for Donald Trump in 2016. He is reprehensible. He is horrible. He is all the worst qualities of humanity. He cares nothing about anything. Trump is only for Trump. There's a million reasons why I don't like him politically, but on a personal note, as a disabled veteran, I cannot abide by any politician, any person who would do what he did on January 6th. If I didn't already hate him, and I didn't already blame him for a lot of things, and all his lies, and all his conspiracies, and all his selfishness, January 6th was the nail in the coffin. And as a veteran, to say the things he has about the military, to go against our Capitol and claim that he's doing it for us because they stole the election. I don't care if they did steal the election, which they didn't. But let's assume they did. That does not warrant someone inciting a riot on the Capitol. Hang Mike Pence, go after Pelosi. And I want this man to leave me. I want that man to have the nuclear codes to my country. He's a piece of and I will never, ever have any thought of Donald Trump that are good. And I will be voting for Kamala Harris.
I had to show you Susan's story. Great. I could go on and on with these. But we need to highlight these stories. You need to share this with people who you know who are willing to leave MAGA, and we got to spread the word together. Because ultimately all we care about is the truth, the facts. and none of this MAGA weirdness, all right? Hit subscribe. Let's get to 4 million together. Thanks for watching.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.